So in order to keep myself accountable with my personal development, I've been sharing videos and reading a little bit out of the book that I'm reading called The Power of Nice. And I think that it's a great way to educate other people and get them to see how personal development helps change your life. My last video, I shared The Power of Nice Principle 1 and 2, and I'm going to continue. The Power of Nice Principle 3, People Change. One common mistake people make is assuming that you only have to be nice to your peers and their superiors. There's no need to be nice to an assistant or receptionist, much less a security guard or a cleaning person. After all, they can't do anything for you. They have no power. That may or may not be true now, but you have no idea who might become quite important to you 10, 20, or 30 years from now. A few years ago, we received a call from a woman who we thought was looking for work. We offered to meet with her just because. As it turned out, she wasn't looking for a job. She was looking for an agency to create advertising for 2 huge pieces of business she was heading up. It was a project that was worth millions of dollars to the agency. Why had she picked us? 25 years before, she had worked with Linda, who had shown her great kindness and respect despite her junior status at the company. More than 2 decades later, we ended up winning $40 million of new business because one of us had been kind to someone starting out in the advertising business. That's the power of nice. The Power of Nice Principle number 4. Nice must be automatic. A friend recently told us the story of 3 consulting companies vying for a very large contract. One was dropped even though the firm did a terrific presentation. Why? It turned out that when the prospective client arrived at the airport, an executive from one of the consulting firms neglected to help with her bags. He lost the contract right there. She was miffed at his rudeness and lack of manners and decided that she didn't want to do business with him. Here, their team had worked day and night to give the client a knockout presentation, and the entire account was lost over a suitcase. The negligent executive certainly knew the client was a VIP, so why didn't he pick up the bag? Simple. He wasn't skilled in the art of being nice. If it had been part of the way he treated everyone, the oversight never would have occurred. Picking up the bag for a client would have been second nature, instead of a once-in-a-while gesture granted only to clients and bosses and other important people. He would have understood that such small gestures and actions can have enormous impact. The Power of Nice Principle number 5. Negative impressions are like germs. Whenever you're aloof to someone who you think doesn't matter, people unconsciously react to that. You might get a better table if you scream at the waitress for service, but we can assure you that your date will silently be saying, "Check, please." Just as positive actions are like seeds, rude gestures and remarks are like germs. You may not see the impact they have on you for a while, but they are there, silently infecting you and everyone around you. Not spreading germs means being extremely conscientious about your environment and the people around you, because even a simple misunderstanding can create a negative impression, as Robin recently discovered. Claire and I were up all night preparing a presentation for a client. One of the PowerPoint slides kept going in upside down. We were tearing our hair out trying to get it right. It seemed to have a mind of its own, but we finally got it to work and everyone went home. The next day, during this presentation in a huge conference room for a lot of people, the devil slide popped onto the screen upside down. I said, "Oh my God, Claire, it's wrong again." Of course, Claire knew what I was sharing was just a secret joke between us, but no one else did. Everyone else thought that I had just chastised her publicly, and it created a lot of negative feeling in the room. In fact, we nearly lost the business it took months to pitch. We made light of the situation and explained what had just transpired, but it was a good lesson to us. Impressions are in the eye of the beholder, and one bad impression can affect everything else you do. So what I was thinking about this is that, so many people out there are only nice to people who they think they can get ahead. It may pay off tomorrow or the next day, and they don't just learn to be nice to everybody and look for the positive, and they don't realize that, especially if we're on social media, how one comment can really transpire into negative feelings towards us. And so that's one thing that I'm going to try to be very careful on, because of social media, they don't know the whole background, and because a lot of things can be taken out of context, and I've learned that the hard way. So, one of my goals in 2015 is to try to make sure that I, maintain a positive outlook on life and show that no matter what happens, we can try to be positive, and that being nice is something that is second nature, not something that is just dependent on our mood or how the people treat us or what we think we can get ahead on. So I like this book because it really gives me a reminder every day of what I need to do, and that in the end, being the nice person really isn't something bad. It actually can have great effects over the course of time. And that's part of the compound effect that, I'd read from Darren Hardy. And I really encourage everybody to pick up that book as well, because you can see that, you can't just do something nice every once in a while, or when, the mood's right, or all the conditions are right, or whenever, you think that, you think about it. It needs to be something that is maintained over the course of time and just becomes a habit for you. So I hope this has helped, and I hope you continue to follow my personal development journey, because this book is great. And if you haven't picked it up, be sure to. This is a really easy book. It's very short. It's something that you can read, 10 minutes every day, which I encourage everyone on my team to do as well.